Call of the Dead. One of the most beloved maps to ever grace Call of Duty Zombies. A map that has been hailed as one of the greatest of all time. It was the first map to ever be soloable, and it was also the first map to introduce a celebrity cast, including some of the best and biggest names in the business, being Robert Englund, Danny Trejo, Sarah Michelle Gellar, and Michael Rooker. And all of those things combined create Call of the Dead. A map recently given a fresh coat of paint with its incredible remaster from CodZombies and their team. A map that I still absolutely despise. Before we get into this video, please do drop a like on the video as it really does help out the channel. And also let me know in the comments what other challenges you want to see me do. I know, you're all sat there, flabbergasted. How could he hate such a great map? And I'll tell you how. One of the first ever videos I uploaded on this channel almost 1 year ago, I attempted to beat the original Call of the Dead Easter egg. It started off well, knife a door, grab a fuse, knife a door again, blow up some generators. You know the deal. But then it came to the VR11 step. A step so foul that even the grimiest, dirtiest morsel of a man looks at this step in awe. Just get the VR11 from the box. Shoot a zombie with the VR11. Blow the zombie up with an explosive weapon. How difficult could it be? Well, it turns out very difficult. Very difficult indeed. You see, in order to get the VR11 in the first place, you have to get it from the box. The box that I spun 112 individual times in a single game of zombies. 112 spins of the box. That's over 105,000 points spent, and was also well over 2 hours of misery, pain, and just downright rudeness. And I did not get the VR11 a single time. And then I died on round 29. I ran it back, and of course I hit the VR11 first time. Just really rubbing salt in the wound there, you know? I then went on to beat the Easter egg in the end, but I vowed that I would never play that map ever again. And I went many months without doing so. Now, I have played the map a handful of times in recent months for challenges, but as I said earlier, CodZombies and their team have been busy at work recreating Call of the Dead for Black Ops 3. And at the turn of the year, it was released. And yes, I know I'm a full month late to this, just shut up. So, for the first time in almost a year, I will be attempting to beat the Call of the Dead Easter egg. And I won't lie, this video was going to be a little bit different originally, as I wanted to beat this map on round 50. You know, as this is a very straightforward Easter egg, but of course that means getting to round 50 in the first place, which proved to be a little harder than I previously thought, and I kept dying, like, over and over, to the point where I eventually just rage quit, so yeah, here we are. First things first, we need the power on. I spent the opening 4 rounds grinding together as many points as I could, and by the beginning of round 5, I had almost 6,000 points, and it was time to start moving through the map. A few moments later, power was turned on, and I was ready to begin this Easter egg. I didn't know if I could preemptively move the wheel and lever controls to where they need to be for later on in the Easter egg, and to save myself trouble of possibly soft locking the map, I just kind of didn't bother, and instead headed down to buy double tap, which, fun fact, it took me several years after this map's release to actually notice that this perk was even on the map. Like, straight up. And because I apparently hate making things easy for myself, I almost get myself trapped and killed just mere seconds after buying double tap. But because I have the superior starting weapon, M14 Gang for life, and now double tap, I can easily pop some heads from a distance and get myself out of there mostly intact. Now that I'm somewhat set up, I made my way over to the other side of the map, and by the end of round 6, I could begin this Easter egg properly. I still love the fact that knifing this door is how you begin this Easter egg, as well as activating many other side Easter eggs and hidden Easter eggs throughout CodZombies. I don't know what it is about this, but it's just so silly to me, and I love it. Forget knocking, just smack it with your knife. Now that I was done, I needed to find a fuse. Luckily for me, this fuse is directly above you in the PhD room. Fuse found, we place it in the fuse box next to the door, and once again, you need to knife the door. Next step started, and I need to destroy some generators with flashing red lights. But we need some sort of explosive weapon for this. Easiest way is by using Semtex, so off I went in search of Semtexes because yes, I couldn't remember where they are for the life of me, and because I'm too lazy and stubborn to look it up, so I just basically spent the next 5 minutes looking for them. But I did eventually find them. First generator is down the side of the ship here, and I quite frankly have no idea how this first Semtex doesn't destroy it, but I have 4 for a reason. Second Semtex does the trick, and now we just have to do this 3 more times around the map. The second generator is in front of the door that we keep knifing, and it's simple enough, with the third being tucked away behind stamina. And we're quickly down to just one generator left. The last is this one, hiding away in a pretty awkward area on the ship, but with a bit of trial and error, the final generator is destroyed, and you guessed it, time to knife the door again. The next step involves some radios, which is also the first of a few steps that aren't actually in the original map. Which, I can't lie, I love this. Unfortunately, not all of the original steps are available on a solo playthrough, but there are a few. And I gotta say, I am such a huge fan of taking original maps and adding a little bit extra to them. I get that it's not for everyone, but I absolutely love it. This step, however, is super simple. There are 4 radios around the map that you simply just have to interact with. Even I can't mess that one up. Once they've all been interacted with, you need to head back up to the power room, and then you can do the wheel and lever changes. Now with these done, there's a green beam of light that is now pointing at the lighthouse, which I honestly can't remember if this is in the original, but it's cool nonetheless. Now I was onto another completely new step, and this one is definitely a little bit harder, especially if you don't pay attention to anything like me. Dotted around the map, there's 4 slips of paper that each have a colour and a number, so around the map I went, finding all of these pieces of paper and writing down their codes. Once all 4 have been found, you have to enter each of those numbers into its corresponding coloured dial in the main staircase room. What makes this even better is when you enter the code, it moves another dial. For instance, if I enter 6 on the yellow dial, it'll then say move blue to 3. You get what I'm saying. This step, deadass, took me way too long with so much trial and error, but 20 minutes too long because my 4 brain cells were stressed. But I eventually entered it correctly, and now I was onto the dreaded VR11 step. First, I needed points. I knew that I wouldn't be getting the VR11 first try, so I got to grinding points for the box, which I then spent on pack-a-punching the 1911. Look, I also needed an explosive weapon, and they don't get much better than Mustang and Sally. Round 12, and I had a decent amount of points, so I began spearing the box. First, the ZZ75 popped out, and then the ray gun. Just as you knew it would. The rest of the spins also resulted in pretty much nothing. The next round, I opted to buy PhD now that I had 2 guns that were capable of killing me with splash damage. I also decided that now is probably a good time to take down George, and he dropped me Stamina Up, which was probably the best perk for him to drop me, alongside maybe Speed Cola, but quite frankly, I think I'd prefer Stamina Up in this situation. And on round 14, after only about 6 spins of the box, my luck continued and I got the VR11. But I of course had absolutely no ammo whatsoever, so I couldn't even complete the Easter egg yet. But that doesn't mean I didn't try, as I had both Semtexes and Matryoshka dolls, but neither one of them did the trick. Now everything literally came down to just me getting a max ammo, but the lucky streak continued as I used PhD to get a few kills that dropped me a death machine, which in turn got me the max ammo that I needed. I got to 1 zombie left, zapped him with the ZR11 at the staircase, blasted him with Mustang and Sally, which left me with the Vril device. Place it in the tube next to the door, do some more knifing, and the Easter egg is beaten. Another great touch that this map adds is actually opening the door where the Ultimus crew had been hanging out, which is also where I pick up my Wunderwaffe DG2. Call of the Dead Remaster has been completed, and in a much simpler and enjoyable manner than it was almost a year ago. And I've gotta say, Cop for that and his team did such a great job with this remaster. Like, genuinely one of the best and highest quality maps I have seen in a long time on the workshop for Black Ops 3. And if any of the other remasters that other map makers are doing, such as Buried, I've seen Die Rise, I've also heard rumors about a Transit one being on its way, if any of them are anywhere near as good as this one, Black Ops 3 Custom Zombies is in a very, very good place for the next year or so, or at least until we get the 2024 Zombies mode, map, game, whatever it is. Like, it's in a very good place, and I am very excited to see what all these other map makers and mod makers have in store for these other maps, because it's truly some of the best work I've seen in a while on this Call of the Dead remaster. Thank you so much for watching this video, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next one.